Hey, what's up guys? This is Rob's FPL and this is my Game Week 9 FPL team selection. I know a lot of people don't want to hear all the reasoning behind it. If you do, stick around to watch the rest of it. But this right here is my starting 11. 4 changes in my starting 11 from last week, and Kai Havertz is in as captain. Instead of Mo Salah, Kai Havertz I'm calling is going to have a really big game, and I'll tell you about a bit later about why I believe so. But getting straight back into it, Game Week 8. 57 points, slightly above average. Not the best week all in all, and if you look at my team, the rank overall, it was still a green arrow, but it was more of a consolidatory green arrow, sticking and solidifying around the 400,000 mark. Going to look at my team and how they did, this is how it happened. Not the best of weekends, and notably, none of my strikers came off. A blank with no assists or no goal from any of the big strikers. Phil Foden at least got an assist and played really well, but generally my whole team relied on the captaincy of Mo Salah. If you watched my last week's video, I had Livramento as my first option on the bench and Rafinha to start, and I mentioned if Rafinha starts I believe they will score, but if Rafinha doesn't start I don't believe Leeds have the attacking force to actually score, and therefore Livramento would move straight in and likely get a clean sheet, and I called it to the T. He moved in again. Semedo, the defense has been shaky, and I'm not too sure how long I'm going to stick around with Semedo as my defensive option. Their fixture run is really good going forward, but as you can see, when last have they actually kept a clean sheet? 2 clean sheets all season with no attacking returns for him has been slightly disappointing. Brighton, with the back-to-back clean sheets, with the double up of Duffy and Sanchez, has been really good. And Ben White, what more can you want? They've done really well recently. 3 clean sheets out of 4 before last weekend, and second half against Crystal Palace, they fell away slightly. But I'm still very hopeful going forward, and their fixture run doesn't look too bad. When we get to Game Week 12, 17, it gets slightly more trickier with fixtures of the likes of Liverpool, United and Everton. But for right now, the likes of Aston Villa, Leicester and Watford aren't the worst. So I'm not too worried about my defensive options, because I still have the likes of Rudiger, who is just out, played in the Champions League, so he will be back for this brilliant run for Chelsea. So in defense, I'm quite optimistic, and they've been consistently getting me points and returns. Looking forward at my midfield and my attack, that is where some changes need to happen. I'm still going to stick with Rafinha, especially because of this really good fixture run. Notable that around game week 16 to 19, he will definitely have to come out of the team for this little patch, but before that, his fixtures look magnificent, and he is the key figure for Leeds. If he plays, and if he plays well, he scores goals and he is involved. So he is the key person that's going to come back. He's been in red hot form, but unfortunately missed the last game due to being on international duty. But he scored 2 goals in that international game just before he came back. So I believe against Wolves, and then after that Norwich, Rafinha is going to be really threatening. Foden looked solid, really exciting. Salah, Mr. Consistent, has been unbelievable. 5-0 against Watford. And what is it now? 12 goals involvements in 8 games. That's been insane. Mo Salah has been almost unstoppable. Forward line, not too great. Ismail Sarr, the fixtures are slightly turned for him. He's been good at 15, and that 9-point game week was really good. But as you can see here, game week 9 to 15, it's really starting to turn. Everton and Southampton, the next 2 aren't the worst, but going forward, it doesn't look very great. So there's a big possibility that Ismail Sarr's time has come at this period, and then possibly coinciding with Rafinha needing to go out, Sarr could come back in for this great running of a year. Otherwise, in my team, notably Ronaldo's fixture run over the next 5, playing 3 out of the other contenders in the next 5 games, with away fixtures against Tottenham and Watford to come. Ronaldo hasn't looked as threatening in recent weeks. Yes, he scored in the Champions League, and he's always a threat to poach a goal, but in big games, Man United sometimes struggle offensively. So let's see what happens. I might give him the game against Liverpool at home. But going forward, those fixtures aren't ideal with some other players that look like they're in red hot form, like Jamie Vardy for example. Antonio and Jimenez in recent week have looked good, but both of them, no goals, no assists in this last week. But in general, this weekend, I could have only been happy. It's a good consolidation. It wasn't a big red arrow. So let's look forward at what are the transfers I'm going to make. And you might have called it, as you saw earlier, there was no more Ismail Sarr, and Kai Havertz is in. Kai Havertz is in straight away as my captain at home against Norwich. And the main reason for that is it's a very big differential pick at less than 7% overall. If Kai Havertz can come off, it'll be a very big green arrow for me in general. You take the risk of most of the people sticking with Mo Salah. But this is the time of the season now where there's a lot of uncertainty. The likes of people losing a bit of faith in Ronaldo, Salah playing Man United, Lukaku's surprise injury. Most people are banking on captaining Lukaku this weekend. So this is a weekend where a lot of people could potentially do really, really badly. And if you've Kai Havertz and he scores an assist, maybe has a 10 weekend haul, and Mo Salah has no output, and you have a captaincy option, it's really, really big. But the reason I moved Kai Havertz in especially is because Thomas Tuchel confirmed for at least 2 weeks, Timo Werner and Lukaku will be out. That's no strikers at all. The main striker and the backup striker completely out. So what does that mean? Kai Havertz as the false 9, most likely. I'm really hoping so. It could be backfired badly, but Kai Havertz will start these 3 games before the next international break as the main striker, with most likely Mason Mount, possibly Kai Hudson-Odoi, and I think Ziyech might be back too, and they rotate around there. But Kai Havertz last season played false 9 a few times, and especially in the Champions League final where he scored his goal, so he's most likely going to get a chance to lead the line and see what he can do, especially in these 3 games. It's going to be a 3-week punt for Kai Havertz, and I'll explain what I do after that. Generally, you don't want to make a play that's not for the long term, and I know Werner and I know Lukaku are going to be back. And Kai Havertz's placement in the team come the 20th of November after the international break is most likely not going to be there. But my plan long term is, as I said, Ronaldo's fixtures aren't great. So I want to look to bring in Vardy, whose fixtures look really good and his form is excellent. And on top of that, I'll have 2.4 million remaining for after that 3 fixtures. There's a certain Heung-min Son that fixtures after those 3 fixtures. These are the 3 brilliant fixtures right here for Chelsea and Kai Havertz, and I'm planning to trade him in for Son for this run over here, which is absolutely insane. The likes of Leeds, Brentford and Norwich at home, Burnley away. Son has been in really, really good form this whole season, and in general he's a top class player, so having him or Harry Kane for that run in could be crucial. So there I've got my plan set already for in 3 weeks time to be able to make that trade, and I still have the 0.3 in case of price raises in general. The reason why I'm keeping Ronaldo for this week is because I'm a big person to say don't take any hits. Yes, there's a big chance that I've now been outpriced by Vardy. As if you look over the last basically week, he's gone up by 0.2 alone. A lot of people are jumping ship from Ronaldo with a net transfer out of over 300,000 managers. And Jamie Vardy has been the main guy everyone's going for. Everyone planned to jump from Ronaldo to Lukaku, and then the injury came and it became Ronaldo to Vardy. So I could be priced out of that move to Vardy, but my thinking is always that 4-point hit is almost never worth it. Jamie Vardy must score and Ronaldo must blank in order for you to just break even on your -4 points. If Vardy scores, generally he's probably going to get about 7 points, and Ronaldo will basically get about 2 points. If he blanks, you'll just break even on the -4 points. And you know Ronaldo, in any game he can score. And Brentford's defense, the fixture that Vardy has next, is quite good. They've been really solid, and they looked really, really good defensively against Chelsea. So it's not a guarantee that Vardy will score. So I think taking that hit, taking that -4, turns out to be quite risky all in all. But yes, my long-term plans, I mentioned Rafinha, game week 16, possibly back to Saar, Kai Havertz to Son for that game week 12 switch, Ronaldo probably next week out for Vardy, so I don't have to take a hit, and then most likely he'll come back straight in game week 15 for this amazing run that they have. After this really tough run, the likes of Crystal Palace, Norwich, Brentford, so many good fixtures back to back. Another concerning thing for me is my forward line. I spoke earlier about my defensive line. I don't have the most money in there, and notably I don't have Trent, but I've been really, really happy with the output of the likes of Duffy Livramento and White as these super budget players that have performed excellently for me. Rudiger, very consistent, and I'm keeping faith with Semedo in this good run that he will turn things around. But Jimenez not starting in the last game, Antonio blanking too, it's concerning, and possibly my next move will most likely be, as I mentioned, after these two fixtures, Tottenham and Aston Villa, at the end of game week 10, the move could be to take Antonio out to bring in the promising forward. Ivan Toney has looked really good so far, and his fixtures most likely bring him in for the Norwich and Newcastle back-to-back, which could be really good for him. Yes, 2 goals, 2 assists in 8 games isn't as good, but his overall numbers and his overall play has been really good. And picking him for these fixtures against more like-minded teams where he's likely to have more chances and more goal opportunities could be a big thing in the wake of Antonio's fixture run that doesn't look too good heading into the Liverpool and City games, either side of a away fixture to Wolves. So my team's looking sharp, the plans are in place. I don't like fixing in transfers so far in advance, but it's always good to plan in advance. It's always good to have an idea of where your team goes so that all of a sudden you don't get to a week where you have 4 people playing against Liverpool and Man City and you're looking at a 30-point weekend. You want to plan in advance, but you want to stay flexible. I was so close to bringing Lukaku in early on to avoid the price changes because Lukaku's price I think went up early in the week and now it probably went down again. Almost brought Lukaku in for Ronaldo because the whole season so far, that has been the pinpoint of when I was going to do it. But I always keep in mind, wait for Thursday, wait until the Champions League games are done, then make a transfer so that you can see. Because if I brought in Lukaku now and there's a red player that can't play for 2 to 3 weeks, that would have been really big hindrance on my team. So I'd rather wait, stay patient, don't rush things because you can really quickly have a big player in your team and then you'll have to take a hit anyway. Don't worry about being priced out. Yes, it's scary when you see the price rises so quickly, but don't worry about being priced out. If your team is right and your team setup and a balance is there, you will always find a way to get the players you need. Rather be patient and wait and have trust in why you brought the players in. Even if Foden for the next 2 weeks doesn't do anything, I'm most likely going to keep him in because the long-term reason why I brought him in and the ability that he has, back-to-back games with returns in big fixtures. Okay, Burnley's not the biggest fixture, but in general, for Foden's play, he's looked like he's the most likely player along with Kevin De Bruyne to actually score. So all of a sudden now, if he doesn't score against Brighton, I'm not going to trade him out. Have some faith in your research, have some faith in why you kept the players, so that you can be patient and you're not jumping on every single news article or every single trend that everyone else does. Have a good few differential picks and make sure that you stay consistent. Looking at my team, as I looked early in the thing, Kai Havertz, 7% owned as my captain. Very risky move. I don't like taking risky moves. I just mentioned I don't like taking hits because -4 is a risky move. But Mo Salah against Man United, yes, I can't say that he's probably going to score an assist and make me eat my words. And he's been absolutely unstoppable this week or this season so far. Goal and assist against Man City. Man City's the best defensive team this season so far. So he can score on goal and assist in every single games. But this is the time where you take a bit of a risk. High risk, high reward. Ronaldo in, and he's staying in when many people aren't staying faithful with him. The thing is, if Salah doesn't score and Havertz scores big, it'll be really good for me. In general, I probably still want Salah to get a goal or an assist, but I don't want a big haul because lots of people have him as my captain. I want him to get something because I have him in my team, so obviously I want him to do well. But I'll take a 6-pointer from Salah and Havertz maybe getting 12 points because that'll be a differential swing of extra 12 points right there with the captaincy. So I'm sticking with this high risk, high reward, and this is my Game Week 9 team selection. Kai Havertz and Paul Foden against Brighton are my big guys. In defense, Rudiger against Norwich, I'm banking on that being a clean sheet. Livramento against Burnley, I'm almost banking that to be a clean sheet. Foster and White, I'm a bit uncertain. I'm hoping that Arsenal can keep a clean sheet, but Aston Villa's attack has been really good, and Everton's attack has been really good too. But Foster, against Everton has a better chance of keeping a clean sheet, I believe, than Sanchez has against Man City. Going forward, Leeds have been struggling, so Jimenez to score and Rafinha to score against both teams whose defenses have been struggling. On paper, it looks like it's a really good bet. And can Antonio get back to his ways? Can he get on the goal sheet again? I hope so. I'm really looking forward to it. The early kickoff, Friday night fixture, Arsenal against Aston Villa. Am I going to have the redemption of having Ben White in my team? Are they going to pay off? And then the early kickoff on Saturday. Kai Havertz on the early kickoff as my captain. And then at the end of the weekend, the last game of the fixture, Man United and Liverpool. A very, very big game. And I have Mo Salah and Ronaldo both in my team. Neither of them captain, but both are there. So it's going to be a really exciting weekend. Enjoy the footy. A lot of exciting games. And I'll see you guys for the next week. Take care and enjoy.